Hey guys, welcome back to Soul, a podcast on the creative soul. Today we'll be joined by a multidisciplinary artist who has started a revolutionary trend in breathing and is also the founder of Breathwork PH. We'll be talking about the art of conscious breathing, how it helps, the science behind it, and the journey that got him started into this revolutionary technique.
Sige, let's lengthen up our spine. When you lengthen up your spine, you want to feel as if a string is pulling you from the top of your head. So you want to feel tall, but at the same time, your back not too rigid. Okay, so find any tension there. You can shake it off if you like. Roll those shoulders. Let them rest on there. Nice. We're going to do the physiological side. It's basically a double inhale. We go for a one full one, and then you squeeze another one by force. And then you hold it, feel that tension, and then you let it go. Okay, that's the physiological side. Double inhale, pause, side out. Let's do it together about 4 times.
Should I exhale through my mouth or my nose?
You just sigh it out through your mouth. Yeah, for this physiological side. Yeah. Let's go. First one, inhale. Squeeze one. And side out. 3 times. Slower. Go. Squeeze. And side out. Slower and deeper for the third one. In. Squeeze. And side out. Last time. Slowest and deepest. Go. Inhale. Squeeze one. Pausing for 3, 2. Tiny smile. Side out. And then breathe slow. Breathe calmly. Breathe gently. And then when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, shake it off. And then we're back.
Cool. Hey Reef, welcome to the podcast. It's good to see you.
Likewise, brother. It's been a
So,
long time.
for those who don't know, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Reef. I was formerly known as Paul in the dance industry.
When we met.
Yes, we met that. We met when I was still called Paul.
Yeah.
But what was awkward was my brother, which you know as well, Forrest, is also named Paul, and my dad is named Paul. It's just that I was a late enrollee in grade school, and there were a lot of Miguels.
Okay.
And then it was automatically my second name, which was Paul. But then I knew that we had unique names. My sister, the eldest, is Coral. That's why I'm Reef. And then my brother, who you know, is Forrest. And then Bunso, si Oceana. Yeah, we've always known that.
Interesting
but,
names,
yeah, that's it.
Why did your parents name you guys like that?
They were divers when they were just boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's awesome.
Back in college. If you've heard of Scuba Sorero,
Okay.
they were doing that quite prominently as just a school organization in Benil.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they were
it's-
picking up trash in the... Tama ba?
Not in the coast, but underwater.
Yeah, underwater, yeah.
Literally
Oh,
scuba
wow.
diving and basurero style.
Cool, bro.
Yeah.
Tell us about like what you do right now. Like you were a dancer. You still are. I mean, it never
Still,
leaves.
yeah.
Yeah, but like what is the main thing that you do right now?
I basically help people reach their health and performance goals through designing breathwork training programs
Okay.
and other performance coaching tools.
Right.
So
okay.
I mix and match for whatever goals they have or objectives that they need, so they can make it a habit to go for that 1% better every day until they reach it and then actually maintain that best self.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk more about that, but my team has prepared some cards just to break the ice.
Oh,
So
nice.
we have a few cards here with different categories: dreams, courage, self-awareness, beliefs, life lessons, and some exposing questions.
Okay.
And we just want you to pick one card.
Okay.
And let me know which card, and I will read it for you.
I will go for
The yellow one. Okay. Sige. Ito, bro. What choice had the greatest impact on your life? Now we're going deep. Just started. The podcast just started.
Yeah, it was actually it's actually the choice to officially love myself.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, quite many times. If it weren't for that decision-making process, not yet the decision, but the process itself entailed a lot of times where I wanted to end it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it took a gradual. It entailed a gradual kind of growth of both good and bad times, and then just going through it, and then just realizing one day na parang I just genuinely wanted to give myself a pat on the back, and then I had that like a self handshake, and then as if I was talking to myself and my younger versions of myself, both good and the bad. And then that was the first time I told myself na parang, man, I love you. Yeah, so
That's so nice. When did you when does this happen?
during the pandemic,
Okay.
mga
Yeah.
2020.
Wow.
Very
okay,
recent.
20 yeah, very, very recent. Okay. Yeah, I know we went in deep immediately in this podcast.
Thank you for that yellow card.
But I guess maybe we can go and talk about that. You mentioned that it was a process. How did that process look like?
Pretty ugly, but at the same time, it's in hindsight, it's beautiful.
Okay.
And I still carry some residues for the purpose of not repeating them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not rare because it's just a compounding effect of just this self pressure, unworthiness, feelings that a lot of people, actually everyone feels.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just that it was wrong for me to have this default of dwelling on the wrong things that is not worth celebrating about life. And so it drew this lifestyle of overly serving people just to
to feel like you're a value, something
to
like that.
to feel significant, to feel like, okay, I have a reason to live because I'm helping this person, which is kind of, it can be a good thing,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course, to
yeah.
help people.
Right.
But then because that was the root of just to make myself feel significant, it was a no, it was a, it doesn't last until the end of the day. For example, take a bath, go to sleep, lie down, wait for yourself to sleep, and then the feeling of that significance after you've helped, let's say, even 1 million children,
Yeah.
gave them meals, and then you're falling asleep now, and then wala, it's gone.
Oh, wow.
So it's very
okay.
futile
Right.
if the intention of helping is kind of like that.
So would you say that intention was more selfish than selfless?
Selfish, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. How did you overcome that?
I found myself in a pattern of breaking down, shutting down, and then going back to family,
Okay.
where the first traces of value is ingrained in someone's heart and mind.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yun, it's really my family. No one told me about it. It's just something na parang by spending more time with my family more intentionally,
Okay.
which mostly started since the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
Like with that kind of intention to really spend time and
Right.
spend it awesomely.
Spend it well.
Yeah, spend
What,
it
what
well.
was the things you would do with your family? I saw you were dancing with Forrest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that,
multiple
that could
times,
be
yeah.
one. It's more of okay. I would say it would be on a deeper level. Like for example, I can dance with my brother Forrest, but at the same time have that same intention of what was, which was to just feel significant.
Yes. Yeah.
But
yeah.
but now, for example, even if we're not dancing together, but then I'm just totally present.
So this shift was more like I am present. I'm not trying to be here so that I can feel value, but I want to be here so I can be here for you. Parang ganun. Oh, that's so interesting.
Or just be there. Nothing
Like
afterwards.
no
Just-
agenda.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Like
That's
come what may,
beautiful.
I'm ready to
Yeah.
receive. If I have to give, I'm also ready to give.
Right.
With a pure heart.
Uh-huh.
And that's yun na lang yung parang configuration of every day if I get misaligned with something stressful or something like that.
Yeah.
Thus breathwork as well
Right.
and other practices.
Yeah. You mentioned the pandemic, right? And this seems to be a very pivotal moment for you because that's also when you started breathwork.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
told you.
Tell us about that process. How did you get into breathwork? This is a fairly new, I guess, concept, especially here in the Philippines, So tell us about that.
Okay, so to define it first, basically breathwork is the art of conscious breathing.
Okay.
a lot of people have been doing it for thousands of years. Before yoga had poses, it was just breathing. Like for example, in India,
Yeah.
let's say, and then people in our area, Southeast Asia, we've been doing breathwork before anyone called it breathwork. Like to dive and hunt fish, spearfish with not even goggles. As in, people have been practicing their breaths to reach a certain objective.
Right.
So it's an old art,
Okay.
an ancient art with just new science. That's why it's new to us now, because the science, as science nerds, we need
Yeah.
evidence to believe something,
Right.
especially now in this world, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is what basically breathwork is. You can look at it like a self-regulation, self-enhancement tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a tool. It's something you learn what it is, and then you learn how to use it, and then when, where, how.
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I discovered it because before the pandemic I was learning freediving.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
which
So you
entailed a lot.
needed, yeah,
I needed that.
to have really good breath holding skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course the I had to stop because the world stopped due to the lockdown, and then everything you can do was surf the internet. I finished all the articles of breath hold, and then after finishing all those articles and practicing them, then suddenly there was breath work, and I was just curious what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I saw myself being in a rabbit hole of what breath work is, and then I saw healing potential to mind blowing until now. Right now that I'm thinking about it, still mind blowing.
Tingles.
Yeah, tingles, man. And I was angry, man.
Okay.
I was angry because this was supposed to be, why wasn't this taught in school? I could have saved myself from an anxiety attack, or a friend of mine who had depression or a panic attack, and now that friend of mine gave up already. I could have, shared something, like a chance.
Yeah.
And then so now until now I'm still studying breathwork to like a master's degree, if you would. And then until now I'm still mind blown. And it makes sense why a lot of doctors now really are going into breathwork and meditation in general. Na parang this is actually something that we were not firstly instructed to prescribe. Because it's not pharmaceutical,
Right.
but it's powerful, even more powerful. No side
okay.
effects, natural. Like it's dependent of the body intelligence. Yeah, and that's why I was angry. This if my future child or like my cousins were way younger than us, about to go to high school, which is like about to get to the apex of all the stress and puberty and anxiety and depression potential, all of that. I suddenly visualize a world wherein these kids would know how to self-regulate before they even know the definition of anxiety or stress.
Right. Okay.
Right? So unlike us, we weren't taught how to self-regulate. We were just taught this and that.
Yeah.
Whatever we're studying.
Yeah.
Art.
In fact, I'd say it's not just self-regulate. It's like self-block in a way. Right. Like the regulation wasn't even open
Yes.
to us. It was just like, stop crying, stop doing this, stop doing that.
Oof. Yes. Repression.
Yeah, there. Repression is the perfect word. So you speak of breath work very highly. And in a way, the way I'm receiving it is that you have found that it helps not just physically, but also in different facets of health. Would you mind telling us about those different benefits? And I guess if you could, like the science behind it, as you said, it's now, the science behind it now is like more evident.
Okay, so basically how a human being goes with their daily lives is dictated by, let's say, quality of their sleep,
Okay.
quality of their emotions, and then quality of their work, their relationships, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everything, the physiology. Breathwork has everything to do with neurology and physiology.
Okay.
When I say neurology, it's basically your fight or flight, and then your rest and digest response. the sympathetic or the parasympathetic response.
Okay.
So a while ago, before we started this podcast, we did the physiological sigh.
Mm-hmm.
The physiological sigh is basically the quickest way to relieve yourself of any kind of stress,
Okay.
because it's just cortisol levels going down with with every sigh. That's why
Okay.
a while ago when we felt it, which the listeners will feel. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's give time for that. When we felt that, it's basically your cortisol levels going down, and then you're able to now like reset. So, and if that's just one technique, then what more with any kind of goal? So physically, it can also affect how deep you sleep,
Oh, okay.
how creative you can be, because flow state is just brain frequency, right?
Yeah.
And neurology is just basically all those frequencies
Yeah.
and neurons firing up. And now that we know that we can actually influence that just by doing the breath and following these basic, actually grade school level science, we can elevate our athletic performance. We can regulate our emotions by just changing the breath, and because your physiology will change if you breathe in such a way that your stress response is going to change because you breathe a certain way, like that of the physiological sigh. So yeah, and then what more is that there are now training programs that you can actually completely rewire through neuroplasticity, completely rewire how your brain responds to stress. So if the same triggers of today happen tomorrow, you respond much less stressed about it. If it's the same trigger. But then if you train your breathing and thus influencing your neurological system,
Right.
you're giving yourself a chance to be basically scientifically as well a better person.
Okay. Oh,
So-
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like self-regulation. And I think the more I dive deeper into mental health and stuff, and that's really what it is, right? It's when you get more emotionally mature, you're able to then better self-regulate your emotions to adjust to your triggers better. Would you say that this breath work is a tool that you can implement to add to that self-regulation, I guess, threshold?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
How has it helped you personally?
oh sure. It helped me because I was a 2-pack smoker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I was deep in that.
A day?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was deep. Hi mom. Hi dad.
Not anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, for example, if it's a celebration and if my titos would offer me like I don't know, I grew up seeing that, having that fantasy na parang, how does it feel to like puff a cigar, like
yeah.
how Popeye does it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to that, but then the habit of
Right.
this self-destructive nature
Yeah.
was very much helped by the practice itself.
Okay.
But of course, it wouldn't happen if I didn't decide to practice it.
Right.
So,
You mentioned the decision was a big part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the moment you got into breathwork, what were the immediate effects that you felt in your life?
well, first I was able, because other than the anger, I still wanted to hold my breath longer during the
Yeah.
first phase of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was able, within 2 weeks, I was able to reach 5:08, 5 minutes and 8 seconds
Oh,
of breath.
wow.
Yeah, just lying down on my
Okay.
bed.
Yeah. So physically better.
Physically better. Yeah.
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 And then how about like emotionally, mentally?
Emotionally, mentally, yeah, for sure. So I was starting, right?
Yeah.
I was starting. I wasn't yet I was still learning about the principles that I gave an overview a while ago. The cravings just wasn't there.
Cravings
like
food and
food, cigs. Yeah, the cravings were like it's not a snap.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was just a gradual. Parang, I don't have to resist anymore.
Okay.
Something like that. More of that every day. More of less resistance. Less resistance every day.
Okay.
Like, hindi mo na kailangan labanan.
Because
Because
you mean less resistance to habits you would consider
As
self-destructive?
negative. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then more desire for the good stuff, actually.
Okay.
The good stuff like quality sleep, water,
Yeah.
hydration, and then just better relationships. Eventually, I mean, as we go, the more...
Like this wasn't an overnight thing for sure. Yeah.
No. But definitely, I think, and I've been reading recently. That's why I may observe that it's true. That the fact that you just practice being okay with where you are and immediately accepting that, and being okay with it and accepting it, and then it just follows through.
Yeah.
Everything just
Yeah.
flows.
Yeah. From there.
Yeah.
When did you start feeling those effects? Like how long before? How long have you been practicing breath work before it became something that you actually felt already?
Oh, okay. Well, day one for sure.
Oh, day one already.
Day one,
Okay.
as in, simply by realizing that I shouldn't be breathing through my chest, breathing through my belly. It was an immediate, what? Yeah. Well, that's an immediate, since
but like all the other things that you were
all the
saying.
other things, I don't think I can specify.
Yeah.
But well, for sure, right when I read it and then actually followed the video, it already felt great. And then diving into it more and then realizing about the anxiety part, did a meditation, immediately felt the effects already too. So it was a matter of just repeating it and then tweaking it for my personal objective.
Yeah.
And so every time I learn something new about breathwork, I apply it and then I immediately feel it.
It seems like such a simple thing.
It is.
It's breathing. How then is it so impactful? Like, take us through the reasons why it becomes such an impactful practice for people to not just self-regulate their emotions, but even
Just breathing itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's breathing. It seems it's something that you don't think about.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is the conscious act of learning these techniques, different techniques to breathe, helps in a very profound way. Take us through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can go for about 25 days without food, 6 days without sleep, 4 days without water, but only 5 minutes without air.
Okay, but you can do more.
Yeah, it's about me, guys. You can cut that out. Anywho.
So 5 minutes without air. Yeah.
5 minutes without air. But then we watch our diet way too much. We watch our hydration.
Yes.
We watch our sleep. But then we don't watch our air. But given the hierarchy of importance,
Yeah.
breathing and air is at the top.
Right.
But then why are we not paying attention to it? So science says that if you actually have dysfunctional breathing patterns, you are actually headed for a laundry list of diseases.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. We talk about snoring, for example.
Yes.
We talk about snoring as if it's just a funny thing, but actually it's something that will make you that brings you towards heart diseases and heart attacks and sleep apnea.
Yeah.
A lot of scary stuff,
Yeah.
actually. There's so much bad stuff.
Okay.
There's so much bad stuff.
Yeah.
Well, at least for what concerns for anyone who is just learning breathwork.
Yeah.
There's no filtration in the mouth,
Right. Exactly.
and we're in Manila.
True.
Good luck. So imagine running, like, just, you want to do your exercise, good, but then you don't know that you have to breathe through the nose, but then your body says breathe through the mouth because you're way tired. So basically, if you have dysfunctional breathing patterns, you are unconsciously on the way to a lesser life.
Oh, interesting. You talking about breathing through the mouth. There's such a thing called mouth breathers. I don't know if anybody.
That's true.
Editor, please flash a picture of what a mouth breather looks like. But it deforms your face. right? And
Yep.
so I guess you talking about the physical effects of breathing, it does make sense. Like just the simple breathing through your nose and not through your mouth actually even changes the way your face looks. Okay, so you talked about how it has helped you. And you transitioned from personally discovering this thing and being so angry that it wasn't being taught because it could have helped so many people to now advocating and even teaching it yourself. How did you get to that point?
Well, after being angry, I had to find a teacher,
Okay.
a local one. Kasi
Oh, so you're not the first one to do breathwork here in the Philippines.
I was looking for one.
Okay.
I couldn't find any.
Oh. Okay.
So I was
So
like,
there's
if no one's
one
doing
here.
this, I gotta do it.
Okay. Okay, so yeah,
That's
so well, given that, is there like a criteria? Like is there like I don't know, certification for it
Yeah,
and
for
all
sure.
of that?
Apparently, from where I learned breathwork from,
Mm-hmm.
they have all these kinds of certifications already.
Okay.
Breathwork Africa, Breathology, Oxygen Advantage.
Mm-hmm.
These are in, yeah, of course, anywhere except Philippines.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thus, Breathwork Philippines now,
Yeah.
in hopes of reaching that level,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to bring it to schools
Yeah.
and clinics,
Yeah.
not needing to prescribe these things anymore because basically just making people aware, especially the teachers and the doctors now,
Yeah.
that there is something you can prescribe that is a natural tool that is just in the body. We just need to learn how.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into to teaching it, because no one would, no one was,
Yeah.
or else it was incredibly expensive
Yeah.
to learn it. Yeah, from those centers that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mentioned, mahal.
Okay.
And it was lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even started teaching before I was an instructor, because I started with my friends who I
Yeah.
knew had anxiety and depression.
What were their experiences like? It's one thing for you to experience it, but another
Oh,
to
yeah.
help someone go through it. And I know you were looking to help them manage through anxiety and all of that. How was it like after?
There was this one person who said, was my first time to fall asleep without waking up with anxiety.
Oh wow.
Um, 5 hour anxiety gone. That was a different person. Other person said, I didn't know I could sleep like that
Oh wow.
after some breath work.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I could depend on myself more. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's such a deep thing to say.
Mm.
So okay, so I'm sure the listeners are like really wondering now, how does breath work? Could you take us through a simple technique that anyone could apply, and
Okay.
for a specific purpose?
Sure. Okay, so the difference between breathing and breath work is intention.
Okay.
But by the name itself, you literally work with your breath. That's why it's called breath work. So for everyone listening, starting now, you are to be conscious about your breaths. So, sige, let's do it for a minute. I need you to take an inhale very gently, and I need you to feel that slightly colder air moving in when you inhale, and feel that slightly warmer air moving out. And then just that cycle for about 3 breaths. And from there, you can observe that when your attention is in that slightly colder air moving in and slightly warmer air moving out, there's just this sudden pause of whatever is the buzz around your mind. It's managing attention. Like basically,
Yeah,
the
I'm feeling that right now.
Exactly, and that took just like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually practice zooming in and out and zoning in,
Mm-hmm.
and what more in the middle of an emergency wherein you had to make a decision, but then you have to be zoned in so you can make a better decision.
Right. So
Yeah.
so you mean to say that breath work is not I mean for how I've understood it for this whole time we were talking was it's something that I could use to make me relax more, maybe sleep better, feel less stress. But now it's even a tool that I could use. Let's say um, my friend got a heart attack and I need to go to the hospital. And I'm panicking and I'm like, okay, teka lang, I need to take a breath. Is that the sort of thing that you're describing right now?
Sort of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a wide array
Of uses.
of uses,
Yeah.
but that is a very common and actually very powerful, I guess, experience.
Right.
That is common, and then yes, you should do breath work
Yeah,
right then
yeah,
and
yeah.
there. That's a huge trigger.
Right,
That's
exactly.
a huge trigger. So your brain could be like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that whole time that you're actually still thinking about, oh shit. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Nah, this is what happened, but then maybe you were in that position, or even if you don't have to make a decision at that time, it's just that you got triggered. But then you have to recenter yourself so you can think more clearly and if be able to be ready to help, of course, because that person is special to you. Then it's better that you are not the person panicking.
Right. Yeah. Especially
So-
in a moment like that.
So you will be effective, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially in a moment like that. So beyond that, on like a short-term fix, breathwork can also be used to train yourself. Like I said a while ago, you can completely rewire how your brain responds to stress.
Yeah.
Like it's just a muscle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you keep using it, then your brain is just like let's go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, is this the same
It's
trigger
trained.
yesterday?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. like bring it on. Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Ah,
You can
okay.
train yourself just by breathing in such a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, we've talked about like different ways that breathing helps and even like the sciences behind it. But if you were to explain this to like, I don't know, like a 5-year-old kid, how can you simply explain what breathwork is and what it does?
Okay. I'll pretend you're the 5-year-old.
Yeah, pretend I'm the 5-year-old kid. Kuya Reef.
I knew it. I knew you would pull off something like that, man. Okay. Maki. Hindi, joke lang. Isang beses lang.
Go lang.
Maki, breathe through your nose. Stop listening to me and follow my hand. That is how I teach my cousins who are like, Mommy, my iPad is
Yeah.
low battery.
Uh-uh.
Again. You actually don't need to explain what breathwork is to a 5-year-old. You just need to show.
Okay.
And then they feel it.
Yeah.
And then they just magically walk away and then do their thing.
Okay. How does that help your cousins? Like, what changed?
They grow to not be so reactive.
Okay.
Pero bata eh. So
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's,
I mean,
it's normal for them to experience these big emotions.
Yeah.
As little human beings. But then I haven't seen my cousins just take a deep breath because they're stressed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I wish.
Yeah.
But
But you'd say that the practice is helping them not be as like, oh, my iPad, man, like this, like that.
yeah. Also if they have this response of just hitting. Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're angry. They
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how to
yeah.
they don't know how to manage it.
Right.
Or if they're crying or I don't know, or they want to tell you something but then they can't
Articulate.
articulate it,
Yeah.
and then you tell them just breathe first, and then when they slow down they just magically flow.
Right. Okay, that's so interesting.
Yeah, you don't explain it to 5-year-olds.
You
I don't
just
know.
like, this is how you do it.
Sometimes I don't even speak. For example, there's my cousin Xavier. I would just tell him na parang, I gamify it for him. Na parang, and then
He just gets it.
yeah,
He
just gets it.
Bro, in Breathwork PH, you emphasize mind-body connection a lot. Would you mind expounding on that?
Okay. So, neurologists would say that if you can't, actually, not if you can't. You can't control the mind with the mind.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because you just end up in a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get frustrated because you have a chaotic mind, and your chaotic mind trying to tame
A chaotic mind.
a chaotic mind. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? That's why a lot of people, especially when heartbroken or grieving, they work out. They go to the gym, go for a run, anything body. Yeah, you change your state by changing your physiology, and you do that by running, so your blood vessels are just running and then not just sitting still, and then everything is all the work is here. That's tiring, and it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And then you dwelling on the wrong things, not just counterproductive. It's just you're headed for like that's a downward spiral. So the reason why the breathing is so important with the mind-body connection is that, for example, when I told you to feel that slightly colder air moving in and slightly warmer air moving out, notice that when I actually said that and you actually paid attention to that, you were paying attention to your body and not your mind.
Yes.
So you were out of your head.
Literally.
And then if you actually practice that and actually lengthen the time you are able to focus on your body and that simple cycle,
Yeah.
it's you gaining back that agency over where your attention goes and where you choose to dwell on.
Okay.
Because we're usually overwhelmed by a lot of stressors,
Right.
especially now in this modern times, everything's so fast.
Yeah. So many
So-
stimuli everywhere.
Yeah, and it feels like as if you're losing control of where your mind goes. But then if you focus on, okay, the mind cannot control the mind, I go to the body. That's what the neurologists would say as well. If you can't tame the mind, you go to the body. Work out first, walk.
Yeah.
But what if you can't? You breathe.
Yeah. Interesting. There's this quote. I don't know if it's a quote, but like this concept called Solvitur Ambulando. So I heard it from my friend. It's a Latin.
interesting.
I think it's a Latin phrase. I don't know, but don't quote me on that. But but basically, it roughly translates to okay, I forgot. But like if you can't figure it out, take a walk. Something like that. And it's sort of similar to what you're trying to say. I hear from what my friend told me, this sort of concept is what like sila Mozart would do or whatever. Like they're having problems trying to create or whatever, they start to take a walk. And when I apply it to my life, like sometimes we have meetings and I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. I'll go take a walk outside. It sort of helps me make sense of the random thoughts that's happening in my mind. And you're saying that in the same way that a walk would do that, the breath work is sort of the same.
Yeah.
And so when you apply all these different things, you're really just saying that these are different techniques you can apply to make yourself better.
And the concepts are not new.
Yeah. Exactly.
Breathing is just there, right then and there.
Yeah.
Like you experience something, you read something bad, or like you got triggered by something.
But why do you think that it's so hard for us to be intentional with breathing?
Well, a lot of us don't even think about how clean our water is. So what more of the overlooked and highly obvious thing that is breathing?
Yeah.
So, well, point taken. Out of sight, out of mind. That's why I'm trying to make people feel it, so they would start thinking about it, and from breathing they would be breath working, kind of.
Gets.
Yeah.
Would you say that through this principle, it would be more beneficial to live in a place with better air quality?
Well,
or is the technique sufficient enough?
Well, in the ideal world,
Yeah.
it would be a place of pure.
Pure oxygen. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But then a lot of people are in the city. A lot
Yeah.
of people are going through things, and then there are a lot of things we can't control that do not allow us to get the best kind of air. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's why the tool is there
Yeah.
for usage and for access.
is there a difference between practicing breathwork by yourself and when you're teaching it to other people?
Oh, well, I haven't asked any other breathwork practitioner that question when they feel, well, for me, when I teach breathwork, um, it's like I'm also, because speaking, what we're doing now,
Yeah.
we're basically doing controlled breaths
Okay.
as we articulate words.
Yes.
Speaking is unknowingly
it's
breathwork.
Exhale.
It's an exhale.
Yeah.
Or like singing. That is breath work.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're really controlling all those muscles, You're managing air.
Yeah.
And so when I teach, I well, there's this pressure of not running out of air.
That's true.
That's just mine. that one's mine.
Okay.
But then the more I teach breathwork, the more I learn about it in a way, because I didn't learn breathwork with an official teacher. I didn't have a mentor. I just
Yeah.
took courses and then combined the courses, and then eventually when I got money already, I would meet with the founders and stuff like that, which is incredibly expensive. But then I kind of learned more as I taught.
Okay.
Yeah. But then doing it alone, sometimes, actually most of the time, I've gotten too lazy to practice breathwork on my own. One thing's for sure, because I didn't have any classmates.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
a lone teacher.
Yeah. You're the
And
only
even
one
the
doing
lone
it.
student. I was
Yeah.
the lone student, and then I was
Yeah.
a lone teacher. So I kind of got bored, but then I knew I was doing breathwork throughout the day. I didn't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, because it became that natural.
It became eventually natural, especially that I taught even before I became an instructor. And coaching, because of my dancing career, is natural to me. So
Yeah.
teaching is,
It became like second nature.
I love it. Yeah. So
But now you're also doing other things, right? You are going to start like a men's retreat thing. You do seminars and all of that. Tell us about that. Like, what are you? I mean, I guess just take us through the thought process of wanting to do this and incorporating that into what you do.
okay, so there's this thick wall in front of me, which is, what the hell is breathwork?
Okay.
I have to take like 5 minutes per person.
Yeah, to explain it. Yeah.
And then there's a ton of questions.
Yeah.
And so it's not like when you say, "Uy, yoga tayo." Na parang,
It's
people understand.
People
what it
understand, like, we're gonna stretch, we're gonna breathe,
means.
all of that. Yeah.
But then, breathwork tayo, what the hell is
Yeah,
that? And then not knowing of all this magic and science-based stuff, which of course, if you're the person teaching it, you know this feeling when you know so much of the subject na parang you just want to like
Yeah. You
tell the
just-
person, but how do you do that within 5 minutes, or like a one-liner? That is the question. So, saan na tayo? Na-excite ako.
No, I mean, because you have all these plans
Oh,
of
yeah,
wanting
yeah,
to teach
sorry.
it, diba?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's this thick wall.
Yeah.
There's this thick wall. I have to learn a way to attach it to existing habits.
Okay.
So, it's less effort for people to know what I'm trying to teach.
Right.
I'm working around the thick wall now.
Right.
So, for example, I need you to make a habit of holding your breath like this and that. I will ask that person to attach it, the breath hold habit that we're trying to incorporate in their lives because they need it for their asthma. I'm gonna tell that, okay, do that when you're brushing your teeth. Because, for example, you can't not miss brushing your teeth.
Yes.
So you kind of piggyback to an existing habit. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do with all the other tools that are existing, wellness activities, and even in sports, and even
Yeah.
just warming up. I'm trying to
Include it and
include
introduce
it.
it.
I was thinking of something. I was thinking of saying like a parasite behavior, but it sounds bad.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah.
it's kind of like that. You're
Yeah.
piggybacking on something that a lot of people already know.
Okay, so what you're saying is all of these plans to do these seminars and to work with other collaborators is a way for you to introduce the technique to the market in a way.
Yeah, because I've been actually still lately.
Yeah.
Even until now, I do like 100 reach outs per day.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, trying to let people know that there is breath work.
Yeah.
There's evidence that backs it up.
Yes.
But it's hard for people to listen to even though I know how powerful it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to get people's attention.
Right.
I mean, if that's already hard, let alone practicing it
Mhm.
themselves. So I had to find more ways that have more noise
Mhm.
that gets to people,
Yeah.
gets their attention,
Yeah.
and then attach breathwork there.
Mhm. How have you? I mean, I've seen you do this on social media.
Mm-hmm.
How has that affected the way that you introduce breathwork to people? Like, has it allowed you to be able to help more people with like personal coaching right after?
Oh yeah, yeah. The more I posted,
Yeah.
the more people suddenly message.
Okay.
If I'm going through this, does breathwork help with this?
Okay.
Yeah. Other than the questions like, what is breathwork?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm interested, or I have students here.
Mhm.
Again, can you teach this to us? Of course, all of those melt my heart
Yeah. Yeah.
as someone who would know. That's why, well, to answer your question, yes, incredibly, incredibly. And of course, it's not every day that I'm so motivated like how you're hearing me right now about breathwork. Like I'm not. I'm also.
You're
even though-
human.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
human,
human.
guys. Because a lot of people think na parang this guy's never stressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. And that's why you do breathwork because it helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, just to share, what motivates me is just going back to that feeling of rage when I don't know. There's that one kid who's dealing with anxiety right now or some depression,
Yeah.
and then not being equipped with
Yeah.
any tool to
Yeah.
because they can help themselves. They need the tools to help themselves.
Right.
So
You speak a lot about this rage, and it seems very personal to you.
super.
Yeah. Because your passion is evident as we speak, and even the way you introduce breathwork is like, I really don't like it that this wasn't taught before to me. Why do you feel so strongly about that?
Okay.
What is there something that like happened with you, and something in the past that you could remember? I don't know, like I don't really know how to phrase this question, but you sort of get what I'm trying to say.
I get it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
your icebreaker.
Yeah.
My answer to that.
Yeah.
It was a compounding. No, not compounding. An already stacked. Let's say, chapters of frustrations.
Okay.
Philosophies that I wanted to break. Concepts that I didn't want myself to be subjected to.
Okay.
Like just in life.
Yeah.
And then some bad experience that I guess would take like 2 hours if I explain it here. But yeah, I always wanted to give myself a chance of anything, with
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
Like you believing in yourself. You want to believe in yourself that you can do whatever. But then most of the days you wake up, you were motivated yesterday, but then you wake up and then your body, your brain, everything is just saying about nope, like I don't want to, and then these thoughts of these self-destructive thoughts would go in, and again, like I said in the first part, there was this habit already of dwelling in the wrong things,
Yeah.
in the wrong thoughts,
Yeah.
making me spiral down even deeper
Yeah.
and faster. So that was the default already. And so I was kind of desperate already for a silver lining. And I guess that's what built the rage. Parang, yun nga eh. If I was given this tool, maybe I wouldn't have... I would have
You wouldn't have
helped myself.
experienced what you experienced. Is that what you...
Yeah, wouldn't have experienced. In hindsight now, I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it led you to where you are now.
Yeah, because if that rage wasn't there, I wouldn't be teaching breathwork.
Right.
Not even half of it.
Yeah.
I would just learn it and then pass it by like another article,
Yeah.
like we read day to day.
Yeah. You mentioned before that a lot of the times you want to help people, but it's more of a way for you to find value. Is that still a present concern with your teaching breathwork?
A present concern? No. Right now, there's just this zest of um, like there's this desire to see point A and point B of this person, and I just love it. Like when I meet someone, a potential student, kahit hindi pa siya officially my student, but then I immediately see the like I just can't wait to meet the best version of you. Like that's what the me
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, like shit.
Like
I'm excited for your growth. Like,
so like when you get to meet people through this, I'd like to say advocacy or this thing that you do, this lifestyle that you do. You already imagine or envision the better 1% every day of this person.
yeah. And
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love thinking about it. And it's not just wishful thinking
Yeah.
because I back it up with the already past students that I had who said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And these could be students of I don't know, young adults or even teenagers. But there are like 40-year-olds, 50-plus-year-olds, 60-year-olds who like
Who still benefit from this?
yeah, and get that kind of breakthrough feeling that they were angry too.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If there's one thing you want people to remember from this conversation,
Oof, that
what
was
would it
snappy.
be?
I guess the whole concept of while you can still breathe, you have agency over your life. When we were born, we took our first breath, and then inevitably later we're gonna take our last breath. So we can all agree that our breathing is our lifespan.
Yeah.
The question is, how are you breathing in between? Are you breathing like that of a stressed person? Are you gonna keep it that way, or you're gonna breathe as that of a person in flow state, relaxed, calm, focused? Because the difference is there.
Yeah.
If you breathe in a stressed way, it's a
Yeah.
or like a cracking breath, right? But if you're in flow state, it's as if you don't hear yourself breathe. You don't even feel yourself breathe, and that's actually the optimal way to breathe. So yeah, as long as you're breathing, you have agency over your life. And the question you need to answer is, how are you breathing?
Is that the same with your life? I guess to rephrase the question, it seems like it's like that concept na parang how do you make the most out of your everyday or carpe diem? Is that like sort of like the breath work there in between?
Okay, so your breathing is honest.
Yes.
You don't have to know you're angry. If you're breathing like that of an angry person,
Yeah.
you know you're angry. You
Yes.
can't deny it.
Yeah.
And from that honesty, you immediately have this communicator or signal giver
Yeah.
of where you are.
Yeah.
And then it's totally up to you now how you're gonna deal with it. So from there, from identifying where you are using the breath that doesn't actually speak, it speaks more of maybe instead of like carpe diem, like seize it. It's more of me from an outside point of view. I'm curious what you're gonna do about it.
Okay.
And then me, if I assess myself, like for example, oh, I'm breathing in this way.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, this stressed me out a while ago, and I think it's still stressing me out. And then it completely, instead of that the previous default
Yeah.
was that of parang I'm stressed. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then this and that and this and
Yeah.
that. It wasn't solutions based thinking. So
It was reactive.
reactive.
Yeah.
And now it's proactive.
Dude, I love this conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you?
People can find me in breathworkphilippines.com, Breathwork PH on IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, X Threads. Up there, guys. Up there your heads. Up there your breaths.
Do you have any seminars that you wanna like? Maybe something they could look forward to in the future.
Okay, so my friend Matt, we're working on this communications workshop. It's called
Yeah.
Harmonious Connections.
Okay.
Basically, to train people to never argue again.
Oh wow.
Basically, making better communicators out of people, self-regulation and co-regulation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, other than that, also working with Matt is a men's retreat
Okay.
for in the hopes of creating better males, better fathers, better brothers, better anything about the healthy masculine. Deconstructing the toxic. What is toxic? Where is it? Where is
Yeah.
it from? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then,
That's awesome.
yeah, we wanted to make a retreat like that for the men para naman mag-progress yung
Yeah.
males.
Oh yeah.
Kasi yung females, ang galing na nila eh. They're so empowered already. Like, sheesh. Men, where you at? Where's the
It's
men
true
at?
though. That's
Yeah,
true.
right?
Females are like
We don't
popping, bro.
talk. We don't
We're
talk.
not vulnerable.
Simply put.
Yeah.
Simply put. Yeah. Not to make females out of males. Not to make the feminine masculine or the other way around. No, it's finding the purest form of that masculine. And then if there's a feminine in there, let's define who that is. And then let's build a relationship
Yeah.
with those binary things.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro. Thank you so much for being in this podcast.
Thank
It's
you.
good
Thank
to
you for
see
the platform. Super.
For sure,
Yeah,
bro. Guys, check out Breathwork PH. I'm sure all the details will be there if ever you need some breathwork coaching. Yeah.